them forever, yeah. My home is now a distant land. If I had one wish, I wish I could be back on that rock in the middle of the sea. My heart is...
Hey y'all, welcome back to Rock in the Mainland podcast. It's your girl, Emeline and my co-host.
And Eugene Tugmoyatu.
We're so glad you guys came back to play with us today. We've got a lot of things to talk about, and we're all comfy on the couch tonight. We're switching it up a little bit.
I don't see no Coco Samo on the table.
That's because you were supposed to eat before you came. Before we get started, let's talk about we got a sponsor. Anchor is our new sponsor.
Yay! Thank you.
Hey, it's Emma
and Eugene
from Rock on the Mainland podcast. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain.
It's free.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. All you need to do is download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. We also want to give a shout out to Lane Vision for producing and directing our podcast for us.
Thank you, Lane Vision.
Yay!
Jose the man.
All right, let's jump in. So, Gene, we had talked a couple days about how you were going to have a conversation with your daughter, Sina. How did that go? You want to tell our listeners what it was about?
I think we talk about, how can we adapt to the American life and the opportunity that the American life that we can get or we can get out of it. So, thinking about what our parents had sacrificed to come here for. And now we're taking a realization of it to take the opportunity and, and to take that sacrifice our parents, came here for.
Yeah.
To get a better life.
Okay.
And that is the American life.
Yeah.
In this society. And we talk about setting goals.
Okay.
I remember growing up, I didn't pretty much set any goals. There were goals that were set,
like by your parents set your goals for you or what?
Yeah, it was, like we're going to go to America or to get into the army. That's one way of getting off the rock was, listed to be in the Armed Reserve and become an active duty. Okay. If you guys look up American Samoa, it's one of the biggest, help in the armed force. Oh. And it's either college or the army.
Okay. That was your way out?
Your way out to find a better life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So you talked to Sina about setting goals. Like, what was your conversation like? Because I feel like I need to have a conversation with my girls about setting goals and really planning out their future. But I think I just have always considered them to be too young. Kalia just turned 12. So when we talked about this the other day, I was like, yeah, I think it's time for her too, to really kind of start to at least think about things, think about her future and where she wants to go. But sorry, I asked you a question and then I started talking.
No, that's fine. You're right there on the same path that we talked about it. It's just, there's a certain age where you can talk to your son or your daughter and ask them those questions. Mm-hmm. Kind of lead them in a way that they're going to decide, for themselves which one of those will be a goal. Either to be, like education is one of them. Another one will be sports.
Yeah.
In that circle.
Yeah.
Of finding a better life for the future. So we sat down with Sina, my daughter, and then we talked about it. What's her goal? And she didn't even set any goals for it because she just going through that flow of motions, of being a junior high and nothing, and then she knows that she's going to go into high school, but she never kind of shut a plan down.
After that.
Yeah. What she's gonna, it's not mostly after that, it's right now. It's good to set your goals right now. That will be, a path for you to lead to, for the future.
Yeah.
It's like, like cooking. What do you, like we always talk about, it's like, hey, what are we going to have for lunch? Then we think about what we're going to have for lunch.
Yeah.
And then we come up with option, which place that we're going to go for lunch, either McDonald's, Wendy's,
or cooked chicken and
or
rice.
cooked chicken or rice. Don't forget about mayonnaise and ketchup.
Yes. Mayonnaise and ketchup. That's a must with all meals.
It's a must.
That's interesting. I like the way that you had said that right now was just comparing it to like a daily meal. Because I guess I feel the same way as far as you need to have it now. But I really liked that comparison of these are things that we should talk and think about daily. I feel like with me and Jose, we talk about goals that we have daily, but I don't talk to my kids about their goals daily. Because
we grown up, we think that, they're just kids. They're under us, and then we pretty much tell them what, because they're kids. But for my experiences, this is a good opportunity for me to be educated. So I can, with my experience, I can help my daughter to have a better experience that I have. I'm not saying mine was, way bad and stuff like that. It's just, I just want something better for her, like my parents did for me.
Yeah.
So now, it's a full circle kind of thing.
I like that.
So where I wanted her to choose, to aim for something better than mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things like
So did she end up setting goals with you?
Yes, she did. We sat down. We talk about. So she didn't even set any goals. So we sat down. We started off with my job. Talk about what I do in my field of job, and then we talk about my wife's job.
Okay.
And then we talk about what is the benefit that it's in there, comes with things like that. And then we kind of talk about, like the benefit that the job brings, into as a worker. One of those benefit will be, your retirement, your pension, your health benefit as well. And those are really important, in this time and age and things like that.
I think that's interesting. So right before you had come, we were setting up and stuff, and my oldest, Clea, was up here. And I had just asked her because I've been thinking about what we were going to talk about tonight. And so I just asked her, I said, hey, Clea, do you have any goals? And she was like, yeah. And I go, do you guys set goals in school? And she says, yeah, we set 2. We set a personal goal and an academic goal. And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, so what is your personal goal? And she says that I want to become a doctor. So I was like, okay, why? And I think that it kind of like caught her off guard, because I think she was probably like thinking, like, is it bad? You know what I mean? Like, why are you asking me why? I want to be a doctor. So, but then when I asked her that question, her answer was, because I want to make a lot of money. I was like, what?
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like when she said that, I'm not saying that being a doctor is a bad thing because of the money aspect of it. But I was listening to another podcast. My cousin Tech has a podcast that he does with some friends, and they talked about how they encourage people to like think out the box, and they talk about people that are doing things outside the box while being Polynesian, you know, not just in America, but being Polynesian point blank period. And I thought it was interesting. They were talking about how somebody on there had mentioned on one of their episodes that Polynesians have this stigma of they're really good athletes, you know. They're really good athletes, and so parents seem to, or like the older generation before us, they tended to bring their kids here and be star athletes with the goal or the vision of my kid is going to play for the NFL or the NBA or, you know, go pro and all that. And so then everything else kind of diminishes. And so I think that it really caught my attention while listening to that, because I feel like, just like how you were saying, we need to talk about goals all the time. And when just kind of connecting all of these conversations, your conversation with Sina and my conversation with Kalia, is that you can have that extreme goal, but what are some milestones to get to that goal? And I think that these are also hard conversations that are not, that you don't see often in homes. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, yeah, I want you to be an athlete, so you have to go to practice and that's it. And it's all about that. But if we could veer away from pushing our kids to something that they don't want, and having that important conversation like you did with Sina, what is it that you want to do? You know, what is it that you want to do so that I can help you get to that goal, so we can start setting milestones to be able to achieve what you want to do. Often I feel like parents push their kids into some kind of sport or whatever, and really just start pushing them when their child doesn't even want to be in the sport. Then what is the purpose of that? You know what I mean? And it's all because the parent wants, well, I want a better life for my kid, and this is the path to go. And for me, I feel like that's a waste. You know what I mean? Because what if your kid gets injured in a sport, and you've pushed away, you've not made education a priority, you've not made any other skill sets that maybe they might be interested in because of your goal, your vision of success or what a better life is for your child, and then they end up not liking that, or they're just going to quit anyway, so it was a waste of money. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's kind of a mix of it's a 50-50.
Okay.
You know, like what your daughter say, you know, like I'm just aiming for that money, you know, the big money, you know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know, so we're talking about way in the future, you know, like what you talk about the parents, you know, when your son is, or your daughter is so popular because of, you know, now it's in the media. Mm-hmm. Now the attention is there. Mm-hmm. You know, now you say it's like, oh yeah, it's happening. You know, that money is close by, but we think about it, it's just like, she's just in high school, or he's just in high school. Mm-hmm. You know, sport is really good. It's one of the thing that, you know, parents are so wanted to have, you know, a LeBron James or Michael Jordan, you know, or football, and those kind of stuff, is just because of that. And we mix that with the goal that needs to be a goal for a career, a career where it's going to help you when things happen. Yeah. You know, like going to college, when you go to college, you have a major, and then you have a minor, because life happens.
Mm-hmm.
If that major doesn't happen, then you have that minor to kind of fall on it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a plan B, things like that. I don't know. It's one of those questions that we gotta ask those, those athletes about, where their goals are, with why do you, like, is it because of for the money? Is it because you get pushed by your parents and things like that to make them happy, or for the money itself, for the fame, things like that?
For sure.
I don't know. It's just one of those questions that we need to, have our audience to kind of give us a feedback on it. Like, what are your experience? Knowing a family that, sports is one of the things, and then education is just a minor.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Why can't even be both? But mostly education is the very first thing
Agreed.
to achieve on, because our body will not be the same as right now.
Yeah.
We're growing. So
I definitely agree.
So that'll be something that will hopefully our listener will, kind of give us a feedback on that one.
Yeah. Listeners, give us some feedback. Click on the link below. Leave us a voicemail or comment on our YouTube video that we're going to post and stuff, and give us your feedback on that, as far as what you guys think about pushing your kids to set these goals, and what are the priorities that you guys are setting in your own homes.
Yeah, it's it goes to, if you have a big family, come from a big family, and then you probably, so think about 5 kids in that family, not all 5 of them going to be the same,
Right.
They're all going to have different goals on it, but you're forcing them to do this thing that you wanted them to do.
Exactly.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
Because you're taking away their limitation, like they're just limit right there because of, and imagine if you have all 5 of them and all 5 careers are really successful in the future. I mean, that's a better life.
I agree.
Because you were there to set them in a path where they're going to take that and do that. We're
I
not.
definitely agree. And I feel like often too, I've seen, even just going to like niece and nephew's games and things like that, like there's always a family that I see, and I'm such a people watcher. As bad as I am at going to sports, because I have no clue what's going on. I don't even hardly ever know what sport event it is that I'm going to. But there's always a family that I for some reason I zero in on. And it always seems to be like they have their star player child. There's another kid that's in like a jersey or something like that. So you can tell that they either were playing before or playing after. And then there's the one kid that's dressed in regular clothes. And the parent seems to like completely ignore them or almost like belittle. And then there's been conversations that I've heard too, where it was like, oh yeah, my son so-and-so had just played before this and now he's playing. And then the other lady was like, oh, well, what about your other kid? And she was like, he doesn't play sports, so he just comes. And it's like, to me, I feel like, because I see it so often in different, in different people and walks of life and stuff like that. But it almost seems like, whose goal is this? Is it the parents' goal to have all athletes? Or is it the children's goal to be an athlete? And so often I feel that we do that as parents, just like how I was saying, we want this better life for our kids and stuff. And so we think, okay, well, if my oldest child is really good at sports, then the rest of them have got to be, because it runs in their blood. It's in their genes, and stuff. And so we expect that, versus I think for me, the important conversation is figuring out each of my children and figuring out what they want in life, what their skill set is, and encourage them to do that. If one wants to be an athlete, the next one wants to be a poet, and the last one wants to be a graffiti artist. Like something that they are good at, because then I feel like with that support behind them, that's the only way that they can succeed. And if all of my kids are successful in the fields that they want and they've accomplished the goals that they've set themselves, that to me is success for my kids. And that's a successful family. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in a 9 to 5 and not want to be there. You're going to be punching the clock every day.
Yep. I like to tell a story about, me growing up. So, I explained it. I said it before, like in American Samoa, there's 2 ways for you to, be out of, off the rock.
Yeah.
In American Samoa, college or the army, or, being in the armed service. And my dad wanted me to be taking the ASVAB test, because
What's that?
It's a test for you to see where you're going to be at, if you're going to be in the Army or the Navy or the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
It's like what you call
it's almost like an SAT test or something.
Yes, that's the one. And my brother passed, and and he was there, and then my dad pushed me, to take that. Mm-hmm. Like I love everything about the Army, the uniform, the people just love it, and things like that. And it wasn't in my blood, like I think I took the test 5 times. 5 times.
Oh my gosh, this guy. They didn't put a cap on it.
They know me by name when I came on the third time.
You've been here too many times. You're not in.
Hey, welcome back. It's like, hey, I'm just just an hour to be here and waste you guys' time. I took the ASVAB test 5 times and I didn't pass. It's just because I didn't focus. It wasn't my goal.
Yeah.
To be in there. So I didn't, it was an easy book. The book was there for you to study, and, the question were easy, but it wasn't my thing. Mm-hmm. My dad was disappointed, in that 5 times. I didn't have the courage to tell him at that time, because I was still at that age where, tell him or get running away and, things like that. It's just because my dad wanted a better life, and, pushing me to do something that my other sibling did, and did it one time, and did awesomely.
Passed with flying colors.
This guy just like, it wasn't my thing, but it's just one of those things, like you can't just push another child, mm-hmm. because another child does. If, and I'm not saying all parents are bad. It's just their goal, mm-hmm. got to be aligned with the kids.
Yeah. And that's what I think is, important, even for our listeners. We're not shaming our parents or any parents that do this. We're just saying, I think things evolve, and now being here in America, in that instance, or in that circumstance, being in Samoa and trying to find a way out for your kids, obviously, well, if there's only 2 options and we can't do the first option, what's the next option? Mm-hmm. The best thing to do is try. The worst that they can say is no. Yep. You know what I mean? And that was a learning experience for you too, because then you could see where your skills weren't.
Yep, I didn't even set goals. I didn't even set goals in my 20s. Like I was just going through life as how it is. I was so comfortable. My brother went out to the Army. He came to the United States, experienced all that life, through the Army, and I was back in American Samoa in this company called Starkiss Fish Cannery.
Yes.
Just skinning up the fish. I was back there in the, just doing that. You know, smell fish in the morning to the,
my
evening, paycheck in, paycheck out. Like, I was just comfortable with it. I didn't see that, what my parents wanted me to see at that time. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
And now coming here to America, it's a whole new world. And now I have a child of my own or a kid of my own. I want something better for her.
Yeah, for sure.
Not doing what I'm doing, not doing what my wife is doing, but something way better.
Yeah.
Money, yes. Aim for the money. But I want her to have a career where she's going to retire and that career is going to help her while she retires.
Yeah.
In a way that she's going to be okay. And
I definitely agree with that. So last night we had dinner with my cousin Tech, and he had said something last night that I thought was interesting. He had said we were kind of talking about what we were going to talk about today, and he as well. I can't even remember what the conversation is. My memory is terrible, but he had said, well, us Polynesians, people come here to America and they start these yate businesses, construction businesses and stuff like that. And he was like, we are entrepreneurs, like through our blood we are. He was like, and to me, I thought back of when we were in Tonga and stuff, and like even going downtown, that you learn trades and skills and things like that to weave baskets or do the tapa and all of that stuff, and then they go and sell it. That's being an entrepreneur. You're making your own things to go and sell it for money. To provide for your family, right? And then we come here to America and live a better life and take one step forward by creating a business that is lucrative. Like you make a lot of money off of cement or off of, building houses and all of that stuff, And I feel like though still that we put a cap on it just right there. When I think what he was saying really just kind of rang a bell to me, because I was like, Polynesians are entrepreneurs at heart. We're hustlers. You know what I mean? If we want something, we can figure out what trade it is to get there. But I feel so often that we also get really relaxed. We also just stick to the 9 to 5 for the retirement, which is great. But I also feel like for me and the conversation I want to have in my home, and the example that we set is to try new things, because the only retirement isn't only just from like a 401k or whatnot. You know what I mean? There you can retire off of, because you've built a company to where you can get residual pay. You know what I mean? So the money keeps coming in, the same amount of money keeps coming in until you die. And it's like, it shouldn't be what is better, but what is better for you and your skill set, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does. While you were explaining that, what Tech was talking about last night, I was still thinking about the food last night that we had.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Fali fukalo, Pulma Sima.
It was so good.
I'm sorry.
And your ketchup and mayonnaise? Oh, wow. You're welcome. We were setting up for dinner. Side note, we were setting up for dinner, and I'm like, oh, crap, we don't have any ketchup for Eugene.
Thank you very much for bringing that last night. The food was so delicious. And the fried chicken from Smith?
No, I fried it.
You fried?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You should work at Smith, or Smith should just hire you then. That chicken was really delicious. The chicken was delicious.
It was.
Yeah, it was good.
It was so good. Your wife cooked the majority of it.
Yep. She became a really good cook, on cooking the kalo. So we got this shipment from Samoa through my sister. She helped a friend out. And
you say kalo. Is that talo?
Yeah,
Okay.
we call it talo. with the T, but when we talk normal, it's just kalo with a K.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, fadifu kalo will be just, man. So I taught her how to cook it.
Yes.
And it came. She noticed the taste. It was just so different because we use those Thailand coconut cream. So the one that we usually buy is from the store Parish down in Salt Lake.
Salt Lake, yeah.
Yeah, that's where we get those. The real one.
So good.
Yeah, the real apapepe for that. So
It was so good. And then she made bulu masima with kale.
yep.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
Yeah, and
Crushed it.
Oh man, we planned that out.
You did.
Oh yeah, we planned out our meal for the week, so we don't have to overspend. Buy a lot of things and then expired in our home.
Yeah.
We just go with what we in the number of our family in our house.
Look at you guys
And then-
goal setting.
Oh yeah, it's one of the hardest thing to do. Tell you the truth, it's
Yeah.
like like not eating out. It's hard, budgeting your lunch money and things like that. It's the goal that we set it's hard, but it's worth it
Yeah.
because it helps my wife out in the health side of things, and then it helps us out in the budget side of things as well.
Your wife is
Yeah.
really good at budgeting.
So, man, I'm married to a budget freak.
That's good.
So, yeah,
That's good.
we even budget for gas.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, having a truck, it takes a lot of, that when you go to the gas station, you fill, if it's half tank, now like 40, almost $50
Oh my
for
gosh.
half a tank, and stuff like that. So we have to budget for that. And,
Yeah.
we talk about how we can plan our trip so we don't have to move all around
Yeah.
to.
So you don't have to run back and forth so much.
Yep.
I see.
It's one of those hard things too. But
Well, my new goal is to be like Emeline and Eugene.
no, please don't. To me, it makes me confused.
He's like, ain't nobody like me.
No way. Yeah, it's going back to setting goals with my daughter. She decided to be, oh my gosh, I don't know what to be. When she was born, she was a preemie, I think 2 months early. And man, she was so tiny. I was so
was so
scared.
small.
Yeah, she was in that clear box for
The
because incubator.
How long? How much did she weigh?
She was when she was born, she was 2 pounds and 10 ounces.
Oh my God.
She was a tiny little thing.
She was so small, but she was never on oxygen or anything, huh?
Nothing.
She was a fighter from the beginning.
Yep. I'm very grateful for the doctors and the nurses, and if you look at the medical side of things, they improve a lot.
Yeah.
Through the years, it was, and I'm not saying that they stop improving; they still improving. And
Thank goodness for American healthcare, huh?
thank goodness for those pioneer that went through medical, to find a better way to save lives.
Yeah.
And that's where my daughter wants to be, is to be the baby doctor, or what you call it.
Oh, a pediatrician.
Yes, to take care of that side. And I ask her why. She just says like, well, because of the experience that you told me about my birth and stuff like that, those doctors and those nurses and their training and their care for the job that they did, they save a life. So now she just want to do that. It's like I said, education, money, but at the same time, it turns into a service
Yeah.
to others that, that can't even, do that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just blabbling my brains out, but she wanted to be that.
That's awesome. So, what do you think is like having conversations in your home, right? And in setting goals? after thinking about it this last week when we decided that this is what we wanted to talk about today, I've really been kind of thinking about having these discussions, having these hard discussions, and that's something that I've been trying to do for the last couple of months is really facing tough conversations like head on. And so when we had talked about this, I thought about, okay, what would a conversation in my home look like in having this conversation with my family? Me and Jose talk every day. Our pillow talk is literally about planning out our next move or the move that we're currently in. And all of that is cool because he has a lot going on. He's got a lot of moving parts and I have a lot going on taking care of all of the kids in the home and working 9 to 5 and all that stuff, so we always have to be on the same page. And I think after thinking about it, I feel like that's maybe a conversation that I'm scared of to have with my kids is my kids say a lot of things, my kids are creative. Like I know, well, at least Kalia and Kiana, they're money chasers already. So if there's ever an opportunity for them to make money, they'll volunteer for it.
Good for them.
It's terrible because they're like, I guess not terrible. So we had gotten them these cards. They're loadable cards for kids, and we can track what they spend and how much they need to save and all of that stuff. And so last year we had a conversation with them when we set these up and said, okay, so you guys are going to get like an allowance almost, but you have to earn it. It's going to be just like a job. We've been trying to teach them money management. And so, we told them as long as you can do this and this and this, which were basically chores, but as long as you can do this and act this way and keep your grades up, you will get a deposit every 2 weeks. And so, but if you don't show up for work or don't do something, then you don't get paid for that day, right? So it's just like work. We're trying to teach them how to do that. But then in the same time, we were trying to teach them, you also are going to have a savings. So you're not going to get this full $15 or $10 or $5 that we were doing, but you're going to get $2.50 put into your savings. We want you to think about something that you want to purchase and make it a goal to save up that much for that. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of where we had that discussion. That was all cool and everything like that. So that's where I come back to, wow, I just went totally down a rabbit trail. But that's what we were doing for the girls, right? I hate you so much.
I'm sorry. What? All I heard was food.
Gene and Jose are both sleeping now, Malo.
Oh my gosh. Is it lunchtime, guys?
I hate you so hard right now.
The bottom line is that
Uncle,
the moral of the story, it was a donkey.
It was a donkey.
Tofinga is the man.
Oh my gosh.
It's...
Now you got me distracted. Wait, I was trying to make a point, bro.
The point is... the point is you're taking too long to explain your point, all right?
Okay, go.
The point is that it's good to set goals. My goals are different from my wife's goals.
He's not even going to let me finish my sentence. My long sentence.
Well, hopefully it'll come back.
I have it. You're just being rude.
Go ahead. I'm just helping out the listeners to stay awake. Hey, stay awake. She's almost done. Probably another half an hour.
I hate you guys so much. I literally hate you so hard. Anyway, the moral of my story is trying to figure out how to have this conversation with the kids because I don't know how it's going to go. What if Mela says something off the wall that is her goal? Like, what if she comes to me with, I don't know, what's the craziest thing that Sina could tell you would be her goal to be when she grew up if it wasn't a doctor?
She might say, I don't know. I'm just saying at the top of my head, she'll probably just like,
Wow. What if she wanted to just be like a party clown, right?
oh, no way. No. Not on my watch.
See, but
Not on my
that's
watch.
what I'm saying is like having this tough conversation as far as like, how can I be encouraging as a parent and try to have them set a goal when it might not be the goal that I want them to have?
All I'm just saying is that
You're just going to ignore my question, dude? Because she's just not going to be that?
that's not stepping to the right direction. Oh my goodness.
How would you handle that situation?
I'll be mad, tell you the truth. Disappointed. At first I'll be so disappointed. Just say like, okay, this is done. Man, let me calm myself down.
Yeah, calm down. She
Calm
wants
down.
to be a doctor, so it's not real.
Be a doctor, good, but being a clown doctor, that's not good.
You can't be a clown doctor, Sina.
You can't make a
But okay, so in the same respect, think about that for a second.
okay.
Circling back to when your dad was saying that he wanted you to join the Army and take this test. When he found out that you couldn't, not that you couldn't, but that you didn't pass 5 times, do you think
Why you gotta? Why
you
we gotta
told me 5 times, bro? Just saying.
I went twice. That's it.
a lie. You already confessed.
The other 3 times, I just went to the market and buy me some pancakes and soda and enjoyed my life there.
Such a liar. It's okay. It's okay. Because you still got up and moved on.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
You still made it off the rocks. See?
Yes, I did.
So how do you think that he felt? What did he have that tough conversation with you after that? Like how did that translate to him, and what was his reaction to you?
He was disappointed.
Yeah.
He was disappointed at first. He just didn't like the idea of me just going to the fish cannery and work there. Mm-hmm. He saw something that was more better than being a fish cannery guy and things like that. I love fish cannery, Starcase, and just because
I love that you worked at Starkist. That's amazing.
Thank you.
I love Starkist tuna.
You're welcome.
Except for the ones that you must have packaged.
We work really hard to cook them fish and put it in a can and label it and put the expiration date on it.
Yes.
It was something that I just didn't, see myself being, more than that. That's to me, my dad had a hard time with me not, agreeing with him with the goal that he wanted.
Yeah.
And the goal that he wanted was for me to be better in life. When I'm better, who's going to be better? It's the whole family.
Yeah.
And when I say the whole family, it will be my siblings, my mom and my dad.
Sure.
Because in the military, it comes with benefits as well and things like that. So that's why my dad really pushed me to, to do that. And I did it. I chose another path.
Yeah, you did.
To be a clown.
I've never heard a clown noise say horn, horn. I don't know if it was like a horn or a honk.
Anyways, but yeah, like you said.
But he let you go through that.
He did. It took he swallowed the pain pills and just roll with it. And it's one of those things. You asking me and if my daughter choose a different path, I'll go through that pain as well.
Yeah.
Just said like, there's more out there. Why are you choosing that?
Yeah.
So like, something way better than that, but it's just not that. But you end up, like you said, I end up okay.
Yeah.
And I go through this, and then if we do a comparison, my brother and my sister are doing okay as well in the military.
Yeah.
So we're, at first it was this, and now we're grown ups and have families of our own. We're okay.
Yeah.
It's
It's just like how I was saying before. All kids are the same, and as long as they succeed, it's a successful family, right?
but not a clown. No way.
What if
Not
they
a-
were really successful, though?
What was that?
What if they were really successful, though?
Oh my goodness. I would say, good on you.
He would say, "Horn, horn."
Yeah, I'll be like hoink hoink all the way. Yeah. We laugh about it, but just, setting goals, it's good.
Yeah.
Because you don't waste the time of your life.
No, I definitely agree with
it's
that.
it's setting a path where you're gonna experience life. And then through that life, you're gonna start, change your goals again and things like that.
Yeah. I think having that the support when you are setting goals, whether it be your partner or your kids, your parents, your aunts, uncles, best friends, somebody, but having that support, I think is really important. I remember like growing up, we never really had conversations like this about, what do you want to be when you grow up or anything like that. It was always just, you need to make sure that you can work to make money to provide for your family. You need to make sure that you have an education so that if all else fails, you fall back on your education. You need to be smart to be able to figure things out in life, And it was just like my parents had stuck with the very basic goals for us. And then like your dad had maybe tried to push us a little bit into trying to figure out what we wanted to do. Like when I was still living at home, I went into medical school to get my medical assistant degree. Did that, didn't like it. Went to school to be a cosmetologist, did that, didn't like it. And then now I work as an event coordinator. So there's a lot of like different, things that I do now. And I'm very happy with it now, what I do, because I feel like it really just kind of shows my skills and things that I do here at home. Also for like say, for instance, I think that it's my lane because I love throwing parties. I love coordinating parties. I love having to call different people to try to get different ideas. And, I have that creative side to it. So I feel like this is definitely my lane. But I'm sure through all of my trial and error, going through different schools and different jobs and things like that, my parents were probably like, oh my gosh, she's going to fail. This is not the one, Emmett. But but just like your dad, they sit back and they let us experience that. But still always encouraged us. And that's kind of where I feel like maybe having this conversation with my kids, now that you've done it with Sina, and now you've scared me to death, have the conversation with my kids.
It's not scary. It's passing something, improving the way of life. Like I didn't have that, I don't know if our listener ever, young generation, like our age, being parents and, and then our parents, our grandparents, have you set growing up, America was the thing, let's get this and go to America. Now you hear in America, what's your next step?
Yeah.
What's your next step? It's always like, what's your next step? Improve your life.
Yeah.
And move forward. Don't stay where you're at. Tell you the truth, if my brother didn't help me I wouldn't move off from the rock, from Samoa. I'll probably be down there and, doing the same thing
In
over
what
and
way
over.
did he help you?
He, he talked to me about this program called Job Corps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the one that he had he was friend with a recruiter. And that's how I got up here, and that's
I
where,
remember we talked about that last pod. You rode a whale.
yep. Charlie. So it's, like you're setting goals, but the main goal is make sure that, that goal you use your talent or your skills to help others,
Yeah.
because that's how we are Polynesians. Growing up, we help people to build a house for them and things like that for a little money.
Yeah.
It's just that service that you give to those. And that's what your parents and my parents have done for us too.
Exactly.
It's that service of helping us out to get a better life. And now we have a better life. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to do the same service to our kids.
Yeah.
And our kids will do the same thing for their kids and other people that are going to come in contact with them
Agreed.
in their future.
Agreed. I definitely think that it's important for us to have these important conversations with our kids, set goals, realize the resources that are here in America. If their goal is to go to college and get a doctorate in something, just to have that, if that's their goal, make sure that you guys are looking up the grants and the loans that are available for Polynesians specifically, also for being a female or male and stuff. There's so many grants and loans that are available here in America. So please, 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 listeners, do your research so that you guys can support your kids in the best way that they need you guys to.
Yeah, I love, it gives me, pride and joy to hear, music artists, in the Polynesian community,
Sing. Yeah.
when they sing so good and, and things like that. And then another thing, I look at it when I watch the news, the Fox 13 news, you see a Big Buddha.
Big Buddha, yeah.
He's in there, and that, I forgot the lady's name, Waifanua.
Uh-huh. Yep.
She's in there too, those are, those people, you look at them and they're making something, of their goal. I don't know if you guys are listening, Fox 13, and just share this with Big Buddha and kind of get some comments from them if this was their goal, to be in that media department, because those are the only two that I know of here in the state that are in there, it's just they're out there, but you hardly hear about them, and props to them for doing that, and the radio, the Tongan radio too, on Sundays, she's been there for what, 5 years, or
I don't even know.
I she's been there, and the reason why she can't do it for the whole week, I don't know. It's, if we have, young listeners are listening right now, just go into media, and, go into that department, just, be a radio podcast person, and just, that'll be another thing to do, just to help out. And I don't know, it's just setting goals, and other people succeed and other people didn't, but they still find ways to, make a better life by just resetting goals.
I definitely agree. Like I was saying before, Polynesians were just so talented and entrepreneurs and stuff. And so we really need to zero in on what our talents truly are. Utilize resources that we have, network, go and talk to people with the same like minds that you have and stuff. And really just try to leave your stamp in the world, because the world is always evolving. And with our generations coming up and things like that, they're going to have more opportunities than we have now, and it's never too late to leave your stamp or to invade that empty space. You know, make your mark and leave it there. Let the world know who we are.
Oh yeah, they're all out there. You know, like you say, you know, we got Polynesian making business.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, in the construction side of it, man, there's so tons of them.
Yeah.
You know, and they're really good at doing it too. You know, like or yate and stuff like that. There's a guy named Moresby. He does pest control, and you know he's really good at it.
Yeah.
And his business it's small, but you know, like the people that he served, they you know they give good remarks of his what he does.
See, and things like that too. Like I feel like, you know, because I think our generation, the generation before us, had really started things, and it might just be a small business and stuff like that, but we can't ever forget that there was a goal behind that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we or our parents were not able to go any further, then we need to think of how we can take that further if that's our goal. Yeah. Like, say, for instance, like Morrisby's kids, I don't know if he has any, but, you know, like if his son or daughter looks up to him and says, yeah, I like the life that we live and da-da-da-da, you know, when they get older, if that's their goal to grow the business, then maybe their goal, they can start looking into, you know, business intelligence or HR or something like that that's going to help that business grow, you know, and then make it really truly a family business and be able to expand. That's what I think is like really important about having these conversations with our kids, because I think sometimes we put a cap on them, just like how I have been recently, you know, without even knowing it. I'm just not having that conversation with them to start turning the wheels in their heads of, okay, yeah, what should I do? But like Kiana Lay the other day, she had come to me and was like, cause she wanted to start a YouTube channel. So Jose said, yeah, I can start the YouTube channel for you and I'll video it and blah, 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 whatever you want to do. But you have to make sure that you can figure out exactly what it is that you want to do. Yeah. You need to set your goal, and then I'm going to sit down, me and your mom are going to sit down and we're going to talk to you about steps that you have to take to be able to get there. You know what I mean? Little things like that. So all day, randomly throughout the day, she'll come and she'll be like, hey, Mom, I think that I need to invent a different way to tie something. You know what I mean? It's just like the most random things. But I can see, because we had that conversation with her, that her wheels are spinning. And so I think that it's really important for us to be able to encourage our kids to really focus in on their creativity, make them curious, make them ask those questions and stuff, and try to figure things out on their own so that they can figure out who they are, so they can figure out how they can make their mark here.
Yep. You know, like going back to those folks that are making a mark or making a impact in the community. It goes into the restaurant too, you know, like, I don't know if you guys went to that one on Redwood, that Polynesian restaurant down there. You know,
which one?
Oh my gosh, it's that Tongan place. I forgot what's the name of it.
I don't really know my roads out there in Salt Lake. Yeah,
they got some good food down there too. And then the bakery. Have you guys been to Sangato Bakery?
No, but I want to. Maybe this guy will take me down there to eat all the cakes.
I'm friend with one of the daughter, but not really friend. We became friends because of rugby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're talking about back in 2011. That's where it started to. I forgot her name. I apologize, but with her, connecting to her,
it's not really your friend.
Yeah, that's why I say, you know, like, we're friends, but through things that we like.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and then when Sangato, and this is just my experience, when they, you know, the parents started it, they started from their home. You know, man, golly, the meat pies, the green puns, you know, those stuff.
Love it.
They're so good, you know, and now they have a business. You know, their business is on 7200 South and State Street, right there in that little small shopping center. And, you know, it's just because of the goal that they had, you know, and this is the talent that, you know, the skills that the parents had.
Yeah.
And now they're passing it down to their, to the kids, and it helps the community out too.
Yeah.
And every time when I see it, it's like, oh man, the food is so nice down there, and they're really good at it, and like I said, I forgot the name of that Italian place that, oh man, when you go there for lunchtime, the sipi, the lu, oh man, manioca, all them food that right there, it's good. And just name few of the places, few of the pioneer community, folks that are doing the best to, to make an impact. And at the same time, they're serving us, the community, not us, the Polynesian, but others as well, and it's one of those things. And I just want to, do the same, not in that big of thing, but just in a way that I can help out. I'm good with rugby. I can coach.
Yeah.
I can share that knowledge with them through rugby. It's not just a sport. It's life. Life now is just setting goals. And then rugby is one of the things that we had to set goals for week after week or day after day. That we had to review what we did today for tomorrow, and then better ourselves, and not as a whole team, but individual players, so we can help them out for their, so they can succeed.
Yeah.
And things like that, besides us telling them how to run and how to pass and, things like that. We need them to experience more options of that. And, and rugby is one of my, hobby, and I love it. It's one of the sports. I tried football, but it was out of my, it was out of my range. I can play defense, but not any other, spot on it, or hold the water for the guys. And, I'm that guy that just like squeeze that water bottle, while
squeeze it in their mouth. You're
it's
so
just
good.
like, things like that. But, like, I just want to know, like I just need feedback from our community, our listeners, like, I really don't care if you're Meoli, Palangi, Miko. I just want to know, your past goals, and have you achieved them? If you didn't, why? Or have you set other goals as well? Just those things. And if you have those youngsters that haven't set goals, why? Why you haven't set goals?
Yeah.
And then things like that.
Yeah, I would be interested from our listeners to hear about the conversations that you guys have in your house with talking to your kids, talking to your partners, spouses, whatnot, how you guys set goals and how you guys are setting up your meetings, because I need help.
Yeah.
So I can have this scary conversation with my kids.
Yeah, I need more, I need knowledge, like continue to be more educated in life itself. I don't go to school to be, I can still get knowledge from just learning things and stuff like that.
I think the most important thing about goals too is that even when you reach your goal, that doesn't mean that you should stop there. Just like we had mentioned before, the world is ever evolving, and so we need to make sure that our goals are too.
No, just stop there. Don't move.
Stop.
So the other person that's still setting goals will move before you.
And that's it. Thank you all for
Be comfortable. Be so comfortable on it.
Don't be comfortable. Think outside the box and be successful, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening today. I'm going to cut this guy off so he can go and have some chicken and catch up with mayonnaise. But listeners, thank you guys for hanging in there with us for our episode number 2. Just want to make one more mention of our director and what is your
sponsor?
title?
Oh, what?
What is your title, babe?
Yeah, babe. What is your title?
You said it at the beginning.
Anyway,
just want to
give a big shout out to Lane Vision.
I just want to shout out to my babe, Lane Vision Jose.
For directing and everything that he does for our podcast. Also want to give another shout out to our sponsor, Anchor. If you guys are interested in starting a podcast, please go through them. It's really easy. Once again, just all you guys have to do is download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Yep, it's free.
It's free.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're outie.
We're
Catch
out.
us in 2 weeks.
Oh man. Peace.
Feels like longer than forever, yeah. My home is now a distant land. If I had one wish, I wish I could be back on the